Okay, so in discussing this so-called Christmas film, I'm going to have to get into spoiler territory, and also will most likely piss off people because I'll be making a broad assumption about the relationships between men and women, specifically how arguments go down between the two sexes. In this day and age, simply saying two sexes is bound to piss people off, but it's not meant to be an insult or some kind of political statement. The area I will be gently tiptoeing into is my own experiences with various girlfriends and significant others through the years, and being a straight male, I can only speak to those experiences as a straight male. I'm sure there are exceptions to what I will be talking about, so please don't rush down to the comments to start blasting. But in the end, this was a movie I saw, and this is a review written from the thoughts I had about it after watching it. You may have different viewpoints, and that's awesome. I'd love to hear them. But as always, I try to keep the comments section fairly acidic free. So if you're here to argue about my own opinion, it's a futile effort, just as me arguing back is equally futile. So after this long intro, let's venture into Alison Locke's The Apology, a movie set during the holiday season, which is why it is being reviewed under the Ho Ho Horror banner.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh my God, Christmas time again.
Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. The Apology is new, streaming on Shudder. It's directed and written by Alison Locke. Anna Gunn, who played Skylar, the fun sponge wife of Walter White in Breaking Bad, is Darlene, whose daughter Sally went missing 20 years ago and has since holed up in a secluded house in the country. With a snowstorm whistling outside, Darlene settles down for bed and contemplates drowning her sorrows in liquor, even though she hasn't touched a drop since her daughter went missing. But a knock on her door changes everything as her sister's husband, Jack, played by Mandy's Linus Roach, shows up after just up and leaving his family not long after Sally went missing. Jack says he wants to surprise his family for Christmas, but as the night goes on, it's clear Jack and Darlene once had some kind of relationship together, and those feelings might still be there. With the storm thundering outside, Jack also reveals he has much to tell Darlene, and with only a few people in this film, and the central issue being Darlene's unresolved feelings about her daughter's disappearance, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what Jack's secrets are. Oh, and Janeane Garofalo, best known for her thespian turn on The Truth About Cats and Dogs, I kid, plays Gretchen, the sassy neighbor who says and does sassy things to break the tension. Okay, time to get into some trouble. The Apology is a wonderful example of how, in my personal experience, women and men approach an argument. No matter what the conflict is, the man looks to solve the issue and move on, no matter how extreme the moving on might mean. On the other hand, every one of my girlfriends, and I've had quite a few, are not satisfied with coming to a resolution and are more interested in prolonging the argument, dissecting it, hearing every detail, and processing it before any kind of action can be taken. And even then, there needs to be confirmation, a lot of groveling, some castigation, and a lot more thinking and talking before getting over it is even considered. Call me archaic for daring to generalize men and women. Call me an asshole for pointing out the aspect of relationships and argument styles. Call me wrong because you are the exception to the rule. That's all fine and dandy. But that's my experience. The Apology only cements this theory as the true mystery of Sally's disappearance is revealed at right about the 30-minute mark. The hour-long ordeal after of having to process and jaw-wag and process some more and then scold and dissect and admonish and rake over the coals and then process even some more proves to be an absolute ordeal to endure. Now, I don't think the actions that happened to Sally are not worthy of punishment. The horrors that happened were unforgivable, and it's understandable that Darlene is infuriated by what she finds out. But sitting through all of this after the main conflict is unveiled in the first third of the film is a rough ride, because all you get is a bit of action and then some sitting and talking, then a bit more action, some more blood is spilled, and then you get more sitting and talking. Wash, rinse, repeat. There just isn't enough of this film to make a feature-length movie. It should have been a 30-minute short, and all of the bases could have been covered, and the message would have been exactly the same. So many films these days suffer from this malady. There just isn't enough meat on the story bone in order to be a fulfilling feature. Sure, the concept might be a good one, but if the movie begins repeating itself over and over again, and long stretches of outside establishing shots must be made in order to pad the runtime, your story is an anemic one. Anna Gunn is really good here. She tries hard to sell this drama that is unfolding and succeeds where many actresses would drown in the melodrama. Linus Roach is an equally strong actor, conveying sympathy at first and then able to turn on a dime and get you to hate him the next. Again, had this back and forth between the two been shorter and maybe more eventful, my thoughts on this film would have been vastly different. But the fact that there really isn't nothing these two can do but talk between brief moments of violence doesn't help either of their performances. Janeane Garofalo is basically playing herself. But while the cynically smart demeanor was cute and edgy back in the 90s, it just feels sad now, as there has been no evolution from her as an actress besides some very bad plastic surgery. Well, I might as well leap into the abyss again and say something else that'll piss more people off. Both Gunn and Garofalo suffer from aging actress syndrome. You can blame a shallow celebrity culture, or the patriarchy putting demands on women, or public demands for perfection, or just quack surgery. But when will someone tell these actresses not to panic when they see lines in their faces and immediately have them stretch their faces so tight you can bounce a quarter off of their newly implanted cheekbones, and inject so much saline in their lips that they can't even crack a smile? I find it absolutely heartbreaking that these women feel so insecure that they have to do this to themselves. Sure, the work done to one's face might look good when you're blue stealing it in front of the mirror, but whenever one of these actresses has to actually emote, it just looks unnatural. The work done to these two actresses distracted me from their performances all through the film. I honestly don't mean to offend, but someone has to say it. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope everyone working on and in this film has one too. I liked aspects of the apology. The setting and the mood that was set worked well. The performances were solid. But it's barely a thriller and is bogged down by an awful lot of melodrama. I don't think the badass you go girl feel that they tried to accomplish with the ending was successful or earned. It felt like it was lacking in story, and that caused my mind to wander to other subjects like plastic surgery and the argument styles of the different sexes. If you're looking for a much more satisfying and emotionally impactful film with the same kind of themes, I recommend watching The Heart-Wrenching Resurrection. It does what The Apology tries to do much more successfully.
You owe me an apology.
Oh my God, Christmas time again.
To live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality.